We know that Earth is a wonderful planet in the Milky Way, in which there are many highest buildings around the world and highest peaks around the world. Did you ever think about the deepest places on Earth? What are they? Here we collected some handful information about top 10 deepest places around the world 2018. It's well known that there are miles of layers between the ground we walk on and the solid core of the Earth, some 4,000 miles away. But how close can you get to that core? There are places on Earth which naturally go down to unbelievable depths, and then there are man-made structures that try to reproduce that. So there are the 10 deepest places on Earth. Let's go into it. Number 10. Woodingdean Well. We'll begin with the artificial accomplishment, and a motivating one at that. Woodingdean in its present form began to grow up after the First World War in the northern part of the parish of Rottingdean, happening to 850 feet below water level. The Woodingdean Well is the world's deepest hand-dug well and was started in 1858. It took 4 years to finish and in total was 1,285 feet, though the initial setup was to dig simply 400. It absolutely was all done by teams of men on unstable ladders, sweating within the intense heat of the opening, and a minimum of 1 man lost his life throughout the project. Number 9. Teja Bohach. At 961 feet below water level, the Teja Bohach mine is associate open brown coal mine in Elsdorf, Germany, FRG, and it's the deepest open mine in the world. The entire mine is 1,213 feet deep and contains the most important excavator within the world, that removes around 24,000 of tons of brown coal each day, around a stadium's price. It even has its own holidaymaker attraction, Sofienho, a man-made wood hill from that guests will see the mine. It's additionally a record holder in its title, being the most important artificial hill in the world. At 990 feet higher than the water level, it's as high because the mine is deep. Number 8. El Zacaton. And now for something that's not artificial, the world's deepest sinkhole. Sinkholes are a curious natural phenomenon, as they just appear in the earth with no warning, and when this happens in populated areas, the devastation can be terrible. However, this is no new sinkhole. Zacaton in Mexico has been around since the Pleistocene, and is a beautiful natural feature, filled with water. It goes down to 1,112 feet below sea level, which was measured by an automated robot. Humans have also tried to reach the bottom, with a pair of divers in 1994 getting down as far as 925 feet. However, one of them, Sheikh Exley, sadly died from high-pressure nervous syndrome at around 900 feet. Number 7. Lake Baikal. Another natural marvel, Lake Baikal in Russia is the deepest lake within the world, reaching all the way down to 5,387 feet. There has been abundant exploration of the lake, with the Russian Academy of Sciences causing little submersible craft down there in 2008, and that they reached a depth of 5,180 feet, failing to interrupt the planet record for deepest fresh dive. However, the scientists aren't the sole ones with an interest in Baikal. It's conjointly abundant desired by the leisure trade, because the clear waters, called the Pearl of Siberia, bring tourists flocking to its shores. Number 6. Krivovoranya Cave. Now, here's one that's not for anyone who's a bit claustrophobic. Mariana Cave in Georgia is the deepest cave in the world, reaching down 7,208 feet. The cave actually has two names. Kribro was given to it in the 1960s, after the Russian geographer Alexander Kribro, but the explorers who came later called it Mariana Cave, which means Cave of Crows, after, of course, the crows that gathered there. Since 2000, expeditions down the cave have become a yearly occurrence, with teams from the Ukraine, Britain, France, and Spain attempting to establish just how deep it is. Number 5. Kidd Mine. The deepest mine on Earth is Mponeng Mine in Republic of South Africa, at a depth of 13,123 feet. However, the mine that goes deepest below water level is Kidd Mine in Ontario, North American nation, that reaches 8,967 feet below water level. The full depth is around 10,000 feet, and as it's up to now north, it's nearer to the middle of the world than the other mine. It opened in 1964, as associate in nursing open pit mine, and has step by step enlarged underground. It's currently the most important mine in the world, using 2,200 staff and manufacturing innumerable tons of ore per annum. Number 4. Lit Deep. As mentioned earlier, the deepest places on Earth all tend to be underneath the ocean. Thus here's the deepest Arctic trench, the Lit Deep within the Eurasian Basin. At 350 km north of the Arctic wilderness of Svalbard, it's at one amongst the extremes of the planet, thus also as being terribly deep, it's additionally terribly cold. It had been named once the ice-breaking ship that discovered it in 1955, the Fyodor Litk. Number 3. Milwaukee Deep. Their area units several deep trenches within the Atlantic Ocean, the Romanche Trench at 25,459 feet and also the South Sandwich Trench at 27,650 area units, simply two of them. However, the deepest of all is that the Puerto Rico Act Trench, and specifically the Metropolis Deep, that reaches 28,680 feet below water level. It's found 76 miles north of Puerto Rico Act and was named when the USS Metropolis. Number 2. Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench, at an amazing 35,994 feet deep. Being the deepest in the world, it has been the subject of much exploration, and at one point there was an intense competition between entrepreneur Richard Branson and film director James Cameron as to who could reach the bottom first. Cameron won, reaching the bottom in March 2012. He descended in his torpedo sub in 2 hours 36 minutes before spending a few hours taking samples from the trench floor. Number 1. Kola Superdeep Borehole. The deepest place on Earth is somewhere that's never been accessed by human beings, but it is man-made. It's the Kola Superdeep Borehole, and it's the deepest hole ever drilled, at 40,230 feet underground. When the project started in 1970, the aim was 49,000 feet, but the temperatures were higher than anyone expected, 356 Fahrenheit, and if they'd got to 49,000 feet it would have gone up to 572 Fahrenheit.